Welcome back to my bathroom. For today, we have the weirdest anxiety relief things from Temu. We've got to start working on these intros. We as in me. Basically, I browsed Temu and found the oddest, weirdest, maybe it's not weird, it's just unfamiliar to me. Anxiety relief, mania relief, stress relief, items, gizmos, and gadgets. We're gonna try them together and see if they reduce the anxiety or make it worse. Also, at the end of this very fine program, I'll have a hair color update from last week's video where we tried the Colorsonic. I want to show you my hair color and how much it faded in about 6 days. So there's that. First up, we have this. This is a Wormwood herbal massager hammer. This one is $4 and these are handmade. Somebody made this with their hands. Smell that. It smells a little bit like patchouli. You know patchouli, are you wearing that? Patchouli is used to cover 3 main scents: the devil's lettuce, body odor, and tobacco sticks. Now it has a 4th use, to beat the sins out of you. The gimmick behind this, this little ball sack here is filled with herbs. Wormwood being the #1 herb. What is wormwood? Wormwood is a shrub that excites the central nervous system. Oh. And can cause seizures and other adverse effects. What? Safe to say this is gonna get you going. Anyway, wormwood, patchouli, all kinds of herbs in here. Or is patchouli wormwood? So you're supposed to beat yourself with it, with a magic stick, or someone else can do this to you with your consent. It's called percussion therapy. Through the stroke of the hammer, it apparently produces heat and releases the wormwood, patchouli. The pores open and the herbs seep through the muscle. I feel like we're a little lost in translation here. How does this get to the muscle? And you're supposed to do it with a mighty force, it says. I don't know about producing heat, but it will produce a bruise. Honestly, it feels good. The smell is throwing me off though. The smell is very hippy dippy like, which I'm not against, but I'm not necessarily for wearing it. Smelling it. The smell is getting to me. I feel like if I smell this all day, I'm gonna start talking to aliens or something. The handmade value is unique. Also concerning, could you imagine this being your job all day? I know you don't like your desk job with Janice, but you could be stuffing balls on sticks. This is not stress anxiety relieving. I would say it's anxiety inducing, but it does feel good. I would give it a solid 7. Do you see this? For $9, you can get this ocean drum wave. It's a very high quality drum. Look at the detail. Inside there's little beads. Now be quiet. This is gonna put you into a meditative state. You're supposed to go really slow and get the beads across, and it's supposed to sound like the ocean. Too fast, too fast, too fast. Shh. Now my hands are shaking. Let's try it again. Don't look at me. Maybe you're making me nervous. Listen to the sounds of the ocean. Calm down. Does that sound like the ocean? Or does that sound like beads dragging against plastic? I feel like this would be more beneficial in like a kid's music class. Could you imagine being a music teacher to like, I don't know, 1st graders? I'd get some of those soundproof earplugs. All right, class, get your boom whackers out. Bing! If you're a music teacher, I'd give this a 10. To use for anxiety relief, it's a solid 0. This is an anxiety bookshelf. Their words, not mine. It's a little bookshelf and it has actual, oh wait, these are actual books. There's The Hobbit, Maze Runner, isn't that a movie or is that a book too? Harry Potter again, Harry Potter one more time. None of the books I have read, I only read self-help books. I need all the help I can get. And then I went through this really long period of time. This lasted like 6 years where I studied religions. I religiously studied religions. I don't know what it was. Well, here's what it was. This is oversharing, but I grew up really religious. Southern Baptist, very closed-minded. Everybody's going to hell. Everybody. you're going to hell, you're going to hell, and I'm going to hell. Some of the messages were very positive, but they were all fear-induced. We always left scared. You're going to hell. On Sundays, it'd go a little something like this. Thank y'all for coming on this fine Sunday. Don't forget you're going to hell. We'll see y'all next Sunday. So as I got older and I was allowed to think for myself, express myself, I got really curious about different religions, so I just started studying them all, and then I kind of picked and choose what I wanted to keep from each one. Anyway, so I went on that for a while where I was reading religious material. Now I'm back on self-help. So these books seem to all be fantasy books. Is Harry Potter a fantasy? Romeo and Juliet? That is amazing. You're supposed to dump all these books out, which is going to make my OCD flare up. I've been having some OCD flare-ups lately. The stove is off. Let's put the books in the shelf. Oh, this was $12. Did I tell you that? I think this is supposed to be a relaxing process where you can kind of color code it, read the titles. I can't even see that. Let me get my spectacles out. All right, they must have had a deal with Harry Potter. These kind of look like DVDs. Remember, it was like the thing to do to collect DVDs. I could never do it because I was poor, but that's how you knew if someone had their stuff together. If they had DVDs and they were organized on the DVD display, I could see myself marrying this man. Oh, Animal Farm. I have read that. So once you have the books organized in whatever way you want, you close this and you shake this up. Are you ready? Why? How is that helpful? That feels like self-destructing, and I already self-sabotage pretty much everything I do, so I don't need anything like this. I'm good. I don't need devices. I can do it on my own. For a gift for a book lover to look at, organize, I can see that part, organizing it, reading it. Oh, it's beautiful. That's a 10. But for the violent part, I'm gonna give that a 0. That's just not how my brain operates right now. I actually don't find relief by destructing things. Destructing things? That's not the word. Making things worse. Like the rage rooms. You're breaking stuff. I've never tried it, but I think I would feel guilty. Now I have ruined ATV. That goes into the landfill. Now I have more anxiety thinking about how many years it's gonna take for that TV I just destroyed to go back into the earth. Is it gonna go back into the earth? Why are we doing this? Violence or any kind of things that seem mean have never been for me. To release my anger, I just cry about it. For $12, you can get this hugging sock. It's basically a pillowcase for your body. It's supposed to be hug therapy where it feels like you're getting a hug. Kind of like a weighted blanket. It also says it doubles as a Halloween costume. Just ignore the safety hazard of not being able to use your feet or your hands. Oh, you know what it's like? It's really similar to those cocoon blankets. Have you seen those? They're like $100 though. It's just these cocoons that keep you really tight when you sleep. I've seen these for children, autistic children and children that get a little violent. I've seen kind of a version of this where they'll put their child in this so it kind of calms them down. For that, I totally get it. For hugging therapy for an adult where you just want to feel like you're getting a hug, this isn't it. This feels like I'm getting a hug from someone I don't want to get a hug from. It's too tight in the back and too loose everywhere else. Unless you sleep in the fetal position, the design on this is not great when you're comparing it to the cocoon. Here I come, I'm birthing. It may work better for a child. Honestly, it feels like a child's size. It's just not long enough. An anxiety relief ring. This was $1. If you have a hand fidgeting problem, this is supposed to help with that because you can just move the beads instead of fidgeting your hands, which makes your fidgeting look more obvious if you're trying to hide it. This also looks like it might give you the green finger, if you know what I mean. The design isn't the best because it goes in a spiral. It should just be one solid ring. They're kind of running into each other, if that makes sense. I'm not a hand fidget person. I'm kind of like a whole body. I'm just expressing myself, flocking the hands, doing this. So maybe I do need the hug therapy. This isn't for me. And even if it was something I had an issue with, this design is bad. I'd give it a 0. We have 50 anxiety relieving, stress relieving Snowflake stickers. Can you see that? They have a texture on them. You stick it on something and it's supposed to be a sensory thing. I don't know, but it feels good. It feels kind of like petting my legs. I'll shave my legs in the morning. Not every day. Not even every other day. They'll be smooth. By 1 p.m., feels like petting a pine cone. You ever went the opposite way on a pine cone? Get you. They're spiky. That's what my legs feel like. So it kind of feels like that, a little stubbly. Oh no, it's gonna take off the logo of my Paula Dean's cup. It's a strong sticker. My favorite cup. The only thing that's a little, it's funny, but it's not funny, is that these are snowflakes and they're geared for sensitive people. I do think these are cool. Kind of remind me of remember when we would have sticker books, like actual sticker books, and there was scratch and sniff and there was those furry stickers. It's kind of like that, but possibly a little cooler. I'm gonna give these a solid 9. I think they're great. And they were $6 for 50. For $6, you can get these Poppet sheets. Oh, it keeps going. So these are little sheets. When you're feeling stressed, you just do this. My grandmother likes to do these, or she did. She didn't die or anything. I just haven't followed up on her. Are you still doing the bubble wrapping, or are you back on the large print crossword puzzle? To exercise her hands, she has arthritis in the hands. And I hate that for her, because sometimes when I'm trying to open up a jar of tomato sauce, this is how it must feel to have arthritis. You just can't do it. As an extremely independent person, I hate when I can't open the jar of tomato sauce. I've lost all self-worth. This would be a great teacher gift, a little gag gift for teachers to give to their little rowdy students. Put them in the sack and give them this Poppet sheet and see how that's gonna work. Oh, Timmy, you can't use your hands right now? Could you imagine 20 kids? Well, now 30. Now I think they cram like 30 kids in the class because nobody wants to be a teacher anymore. You know why? You know why nobody wants to be a teacher? Who can live off $40,000 a year watching 30 misbehaved kids? 30. It used to be 20. Now it's 30. Oh, you want a teacher's aide? Too damn bad, Brenda. You're not getting one. You're not getting a teacher's aide. You can do it all by yourself. And by the way, we're gonna need you to take home that work and do that work at home and somehow miraculously wake up in a good mood to please 30 individual people that all have individual moods at the same time. Can you do that? Could you imagine 30 kids popping this at the same time? Earplugs, eyes wide open. I'm watching, but I'm not listening. But it might help them calm down, or it might get them going, get them feeling excited. You know, one thing that makes me mad about the school system is the nutrition. Kids are allowed to buy ice cream every single day for like $1.50 or something every single day after lunch. And some kids do buy ice cream every single day. Plus they're getting chocolate milk and they have a dessert with their lunch. We load them up on sugar on lunch and then they go back to their teacher. And we wonder why our teachers can't manage the kids. They have consumed 200 grams of sugar in less than 20 minutes. And she's supposed to control them? He or she, whatever. We gotta stop that. Ice cream should be illegal in schools. It really should be. So should chocolate milk. Drink water. What's wrong with drinking water? Rant over. Okay, my camera's about to die. Let's change the battery. This is a vibrator, a sleeping vibrator. I don't know if you'll be able to see the screen. It has 2 different modes, excited mode and sleep mode. This is where the pulsating vibrations come from. Okay, so sleep mode, we're gonna crank it up to number 15. Oh, okay, and it radiates little shock waves out of the silver part. They are pretty strong. You know what it feels like when we tried that Amazon high frequency wand, which I love, by the way. I really do love that product. It feels like that. It's a very strong shock, not like a vibration like your cell phone. Let me try to duplicate it. Feels like that. How is that gonna make you go to sleep? I don't know, but this actually had really good reviews. You're supposed to clench this. Clench? Is that the word? Yeah, you're supposed to put this in your fist, however you sleep. And then you can change the mode to excited, which is a vibrating. I guess if you need help waking up or stimulating your nervous system. I kind of get how this would work when you're associating this to sleep. I used to have a lot of trouble sleeping just due to anxiety. It's been kind of a lifelong problem, but it progressed when I had cancer. I can't sleep because I think I'm dying. Am I dying? Am I gonna be okay? One thing that helped me calm down is a heating pad. I'd put a heating pad on and that would tell my body, okay, heating pad means sleeping time. So now every time I put the heating pad on, my body associates heat with, okay, we're going to sleep. And honestly, I have 0 sleeping problems. I can go to sleep very quickly. I stay asleep, everything's been great because of the heating pad. So if you associate this with sleep, maybe that would trick your brain into thinking, okay, when I hold the egg, I have to go to sleep. I kind of like this, but I'm not sure about it. I'm gonna give it a 5 for now. I'll have to try it for a while and let you know. These are not sanitary napkins for women. They are disposable heating eye mask. Lavender scented. Shake it a little bit like you would a hot hand, which is almost hot hand season. You gotta be careful with those because one time I put hot hands in my breast area in my bra and I went to sleep on my side and the hot hand burned my breast. It says these help relieve symptoms of dry eyes, itching, dark circles, blurred vision. You have blurred vision? That would be terrible. It stays hot for 60 minutes at a temperature of 104 to 122. That's gonna burn your eyes. So you just do this. Oh, actually that does feel good. But it kind of does need a band so it's secure to the eyes. Otherwise it's just kind of sitting there. Wait a minute, now the light went out. There it goes, now I look better. These are fun, kind of wasteful. They make those microwavable ones. I'd give them a 5. They're just okay. Oh, that's a small mat. They got me. This is an Acupressure mat. Acupressure, yes. It's a thick piece of foam and it has these spiky pieces of plastic. It's a little harsh on the skin, but this through the clothes, that actually feels really nice. This got terrible reviews. If you're discounting, there goes that chair squeaking. If you're discounting the size, I wish it was a full body mat, head to toe, needles. I guess you can just do a section, move it down, do a section, move it down. Oh, you're 6'6". This is going to take you 30 minutes. You gotta move it down every single time. I just realized I was only wearing one earring. Anyway, that wraps up our Temu anxiety relief, stress relief, Gizmo Gadget haul. A little update from last week. This is what my hair looks like after we use the Colorsonic L'Oreal. Here's the level 10, the blonde, and this is the shade 5. It was a level 5 and it was pretty dark for me. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. I think I filmed that on Wednesday. Okay, it's only been 5 days. And it's already faded a lot. In fairness, I do shampoo my hair every single day. You're not supposed to, but I have greasy hair. I have greasy skin, oily skin, I have greasy hair. I overproduce oil grease. Burger King deep fryer grease. I have enough for me, you, your sister, your brother, your auntie, and her sister. Okay? I shampoo it, it makes me feel clean, makes me feel better. Could be to give them some grace that I'm over shampooing my hair. But I am using paraben-free, sulfate-free, color-safe shampoo. So I don't know about it. The color's not good. The device is cool. If they can get that down to, how do we get that to $30 and the cartridges to $10? How do we do that? Then maybe more people would be interested in it. Also, thank you for the happy birthdays to my son. His birthday is actually not till the end of the month for the little bowling pin. I'm gonna make this bouquet with it with candy and not lottery tickets. I love to make those. Back to the products. I'm thinking I like that patchouli stick the best. That's something to look into as far as making your body feel better, not necessarily stress relief. The rest of this kind of seems a little gimmicky. Also depends on your situation. Everyone handles stress in different ways. For me, I like to cry about it. Others like to write in a journal. Some people channel it in a positive way. They write music. It's different for everybody. And we all have stressful situations going on. I don't even watch the news. And it's stressful out there. The information that I get from just hearing people talk or people talking to me, it's too much. It's way too much going on right now. And even in my personal life, I've been a little stressed lately. Why did you make that face? Why did I make that face at you? I'm sorry. I don't like sharing bad news, but I'm gonna tell you about it. We're just gonna do this quick, okay? I'm gonna throw up on you some negative information and I'm not gonna do it again. As most of you know, in 2018, I had cervical cancer and that was really tough. Had a hysterectomy, menopause, doing it all. Took a long time to kind of balance myself, balance my hormones, balance my feelings, my emotional state, mental state, physical state. For the past 5 years, everything has been really nice. I've been really blessed to have really great health and I'm happy to report that I'm in the best physical and mental health shape that I can be in, if that makes sense. Every year on my birthday, I go for a checkup, and unfortunately for me, the test results did not come back as positive as I would like. However, they weren't completely negative. There's some irregular cells forming, and this is nothing new. This has happened before. Once I found that out from my regular doctor, I went to the cancer center, I think 3 weeks ago. I spent 4 days at the cancer center doing extensive testing, blood work, mental health evaluations, all the evaluations to make sure, like, whatever it is, we're gonna do it again. I had a quick procedure. Last week I had a biopsy, which was extremely painful. It did not feel like the last time I got one. Oh, it's just a little pinch. It's not just a little pinch, and then the scissors got stuck and they had that little round thing on the end. It was traumatic. Anyway, I want to clarify, I'm not saying I have cancer again. I am saying I have a group of cells that are changing on me, and eventually, if I do not correct them, will turn into cancer again. I am in course correction mode. I'm taking new hormones. I'm getting biopsies, tests, all this stuff to figure out what's the best course of action, which I don't really know what we're gonna do yet. I'm actually still recovering from the biopsy because it was not only very traumatic because they don't even offer any kind of numbing medication. Can we get the happy gas? There's a lot of aftermath that comes with that. So anyway, nobody cares about that. What we're doing now is basically monitoring it. I got a second opinion from a different gynecologist, not related to the cancer center. So that way I make sure I'm making all the right decisions. The positive news, these cells are really slow growing. They're slow, they're not rapid producing. It looks like they literally just formed, according to my doctor. I don't know anything about this. They're not growing inside or spreading. They're just popping up, making an appearance. Nice to see ya. I'll know more in the future about any kind of removal surgeries I'm gonna have, or if I have to have them. Honestly, the hope is the new hormones I'm taking will help kind of revamp the cells or make them push backwards. We'll just see. So this is where the idea for this video came about, because I was feeling a little bit manic, as you could imagine. When you're expecting good news and you get bad news, it kind of brings you back to the past of how traumatic that was and possibly having to relive that. You almost forget to look at the positives. It's just you're only hearing the negative. And I thought, oh, this would be a great video because I'm actually looking for some stress relief tools. And a lot of self-realization has happened from here to there because I ordered this stuff. I don't keep up with dates. It's been a minute. I think the best way, for me, the best way to reduce anxiety, stress, anything that triggers you is to just think about the good things. Just to relax, take a breath, point out some positive things that you can see, hear, smell, taste, wherever you're at. And remember that we're being too hard on ourselves. Life is stressful. It's confusing, it's crazy. There's traumas from your past, your childhood, relationships. It's all compacted and it kind of gets you a little bit like, what are we doing here? And I don't have the answer to that. I wish I did. But for me, I find comfort in whatever I'm doing here. And for whatever reason I'm here, is to just be a good person, to just enjoy the ride, to learn experiences for myself, from other people, to do what I love, to try to be happy, but also recognize that life is a shit sandwich sometimes. Life sometimes gives you white bread, a piece of poop, white bread, a beep sandwich, and you have to eat it. And sometimes you get a gargantuan from Jimmy John's, all the meats, all the cheeses, a little bit of olive oil. Sometimes it's a blessing, and sometimes it's just not. So for me, finding comfort in knowing that life is literally like this. When your brain wants it to be like this, because we're good people and we have good intentions, so we think, oh, life is on an upward trellis. What are those things called? They're not trellises. Yeah, maybe they are, but the things you ride up to the ski slope. This is how life's supposed to go. But actually, the ski slope thing is broken. Oh, you're doing good. Actually, you suck. Oh, you're doing great. You suck again. Oh, you're doing great. Wait a second. Anyway, I don't want to bombard you with bad news. I just want to share an experience with you so you feel like less alone if you're experiencing any kind of anxiety, stress. We can't control things, change things. We can't control people, things, situations. We can only control how we respond. Just responding with kindness, patience, love, empathy, and just being here now. Remember what the bowling coach said, be here now, Brittnee. And last thing I want to say, I am really thankful for you. I really love doing these videos. I don't love editing the videos, okay? I really don't. In the last few weeks, it's really kept me kind of going when I was feeling a little like manic on the inside. This kind of kept me grounded and kind of brought me back down to what you're here for. I don't consider this like making a huge difference in someone's life. I'm making a YouTube video in my literal bathroom. I'm not trying to hang the moon or anything. I'm just trying to make a few people have a nicer day. And I hope I'm doing that. And some, I may be making them have a worse day. I have no idea. Anyway, with all that said, don't forget to be kind. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Drink water. Are you drinking water? I'm not even drinking water right now. Drink water. Be safe. Drive slow. I think that's it. And I will see you next time for something cool. A nice exhale. This one's for you because my talent level was less than. I hated that. Maybe if you had anger issues. Do I have 3 eyes? Gone with the wind. I wish a man would. Patchouli, patchouli, patchouli. I already forgot. I didn't know it was used to beat the sins out of you. I like to spend a good 2-3 hours just crying about it. So sorry about that.